We have all at some point wondered, why did I act that way? But what is the real source of human behavior? What directs us, influences our choices, and even makes us act unconsciously? We can find the answers to these questions in the psychoanalytic theory developed by Sigmund Freud, who is regarded as the founder of psychology. Freud developed a comprehensive theory to understand the human mind and behavior. His theory is not based on a single idea, but rather on a combination of multiple approaches. One of Freud's most significant contributions to human psychology is his structural theory of personality. In our previous video, we introduced this theory. Today, we will explore it in greater depth, delving into the source of human behavior and discovering what Freud had to say about it. According to Freud's structural theory of personality, the human mind consists of three fundamental components: the id, the ego, and the superego. These structures work together to shape our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Let's examine these three components in detail. The id, also known as the primitive self. This is the part of the mind that contains our most basic and primal instincts, such as hunger, thirst, sexuality, and aggression. Newborn babies are entirely driven by the id. When a baby is hungry, it does not understand what hunger is, but it cries to be fed. The id is the impatient and impulsive part of us that seeks immediate gratification of our most fundamental desires. According to Freud, these primal impulses play a significant role in adult psychological issues. He believed that the fulfillment or suppression of these urges during childhood is crucial. In fact, much of psychoanalysis is built upon this idea, which is why Freud placed great importance on early childhood experiences. The ego, also known as the self, as an individual interacts with society over time, they begin to understand the realities of the world. The desires of the id cannot always be immediately satisfied, and this is where the ego comes into play. The ego balances the desires of the id with the reality principle, determining how, when, and in what way these desires can be fulfilled. In a way, it acts as a mediator, adapting our childlike impulses to the demands of the real world. The superego, also known as the moral self. Over time, individuals develop a sense of morality based on the values they learn from their families and society. The superego represents moral rules and helps individuals distinguish right from wrong. It suppresses inappropriate or unacceptable desires and ensures that a person conforms to societal norms. Let's consider an example. Imagine you are drunk and dancing or talking uncontrollably. At that moment, it is the id that is guiding you. The next morning, when you wake up and think, "What did I do?" the ego steps in. If you try to find excuses to justify your actions, that is the superego at work. It is a fact that most desires arising from the id are not socially acceptable. The ego is responsible for shaping these desires into a form that society can accept. If this fails, the ego employs defense mechanisms to manage the unruly impulses of the id. These mechanisms include repression, reaction formation, projection, regression, denial, and rationalization. Defense mechanisms and how they function will be the topic of another video, where we will explain them in detail. In Freud's structural theory of personality, we have tried to explain how these three components influence human behavior and shape personality. Although Freud considered the id to be primitive, he also believed that every person is born with these primal instincts. The energy provided by these instincts drives all human behavior. This energy is what he referred to as life energy, which he saw as the primary force behind all actions. Another key theory developed by Freud is the topographic model. According to this theory, the human mind is divided into three levels: the conscious, the preconscious, and the unconscious. Conscious. This is our daily awareness. Everything we are currently thinking, feeling, and experiencing is within this level. Preconscious. This contains information that we are not immediately aware of, but can recall when needed. Unconscious. This is where repressed memories, traumas, desires, and impulses are stored. It is difficult for these to reach the conscious level, but they still influence our behavior in ways we are unaware of. Freud believed that unconscious thoughts manifest themselves through dreams, jokes, and slips of the tongue. For example, an accidental word we say might actually be an expression of a suppressed thought. One of Freud's most emphasized points was that childhood plays a fundamental role in shaping personality. The first 6 years of life are crucial, as they largely determine a person's unconscious mind. The experiences of this period influence thoughts, emotions, and behaviors later in life. Traumas or repressed emotions from childhood may emerge as psychological issues in adulthood. According to Freud, the root of all behavior lies in life energy, which is fueled by the id. This energy is essential for survival and reproduction. Basic instincts such as hunger, thirst, self-preservation, and sexuality are unavoidable aspects of human nature. However, through the ego and superego, individuals shape these instincts and adapt to social life. The desires that come from the id, the superego's need for social conformity, and the repressed emotions and impulses of the unconscious. All of these can be considered the primary reasons behind human behavior. Freud's theories revolutionized psychology and significantly contributed to our understanding of human behavior. Even today, modern psychology and psychotherapy techniques continue to be inspired by Freud's ideas. So we have explored Freud's perspective on the origins of human behavior. If you find these topics interesting, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like the video. See you in our next videos. Take care.